Let's go ahead and get this party started. Peace and power, family. This is your boy, Shane the Artist, and I would like to welcome you to another episode of the Rebellious Rhymer Podcast. That's right, Black conservatism without the buck dancing. I'm going to repeat that again. Black conservatism without the buck dancing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's how we do. So today's topic that we're going to be discussing is a pretty controversial topic, and we're going to be talking about the N word. Should black people abandon the word? Should we stop using that word? Has it caused enough damage to the black community, or should we continue to use it? I'm going to be taking your questions. If you on Instagram Live, you can tap in. Also, I'll be taking your questions on TikTok and on Facebook as well. But family, before we even get started with that topic, let me go ahead and talk about my show. I will be performing live at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, March the 15th, 2025. All right, come through. So if you're going to be in South by Southwest and you want to check me out live, you can come to 215 East 6th Street, Austin, Texas, 78701. Okay, I should be going on around 7 o'clock p.m. I will be performing at the Lit Lounge. So if you're going to be in Austin, Texas, fall through the Lit Lounge March the 15th, which is a Saturday. I should be performing around 7 o'clock p.m. So yeah, that's the Lit Lounge, South by Southwest, Austin, Texas, 215 East 6th Street, Austin, Texas, 78701. So yeah, come through and come holler at me, man. I'm gonna be spitting that hot fire as you know I do, and I do very well. So yeah, that's the South by Southwest, March 15th. Come check me out. Y'all can come check me out. How y'all doing out there, family? How y'all doing out there? I haven't been live for a while. We got some people here in Instagram. Peace, what's going on, brother? Peace and power to you too, Bishop. Today's discussion is going to be: should Black Americans, should we rid ourselves of the N word? I mean, let's discuss it. Should we stop using the N word? Should we bury the N word? Speaking of burying the N word, so and this article is kind of old, so I believe it came out like around 2014. But do y'all remember when the NAACP they came out and they had like this funeral in effigy, or like a mock funeral, to where they were carrying a casket? They basically symbolically they was trying to bury the N word. That was the symbolism of them carrying this casket. So members of the NAACP was carrying the casket because they were symbolically burying the N word, basically trying to lead a movement of burying the N word. So let me read a little bit of the NAACP's stance on the N word. And I'm sure that y'all are familiar with the NAACP. I don't even need to get into the background of those guys, but so it's the Merriam-Webster, and this is straight off of the NAACP website. The Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines nigger. I'm probably going to edit that out later, but I don't want to get flagged. So the N word with the hard R, okay, let's just say that, as usually offensive, a black person, member of socially disadvantaged class of persons. So that's they saying that the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, that's what defines that word as a usually offensive, a black person, a member of socially disadvantaged class of persons. Okay, the N word has been established to be derogatory, degrading, dehumanizing, and is one of the most offensive words in history. I can, let me go ahead and stop right there. Obviously, I can see why they would say that, especially groups like the NAACP who was around during Jim Crow and, all of these eras where it was pretty much what a lot of people would consider worse at that time. So, yeah, I can understand their stance on the N word. And as far as it being established as a derogatory word. Just real quick, my take on that is, obviously it was used in a derogatory manner during those Jim Crow era, during the slavery era, during the Reconstruction era. The N word with the hard R was definitely used as a weapon to dehumanize uh, the black race. So, so let me go ahead and keep, so I can understand that, I can understand their stance on that, especially coming up in that era. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the N word myself and kind of break it down a little bit myself a little bit later. So the N word is too often freely and casually used by some individuals in popular media, literature, and general society, with usage of broadness across racial and generational backgrounds. Okay, so let me just keep going here. The stigma of the word embodies and invokes painful memories and inhumane ill will, and countless individuals, including NAACP freedom fighters, have lost their lives due to the beliefs perpetuated by the use of the word. Therefore, be it resolved that the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People shall not condone, award, or engage any person that uses the N-word in any capacity or in any artistic endeavor that does not allude to the historical context of the word, or that does not highlight the prejudicial nature of the word. Okay, so that's pretty much NAACP's stance. There's more here, but I'm going to stop right there. Um, I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so yes, and I understand. Like I said before, I understand where they're coming from as far as the use of the N word. It was definitely used as a weapon. It was used to dehumanize us and demean us at that particular point in time. But I am going to talk about how the black race took that word that was meant to damage them and used it to empower them. Yes, they took the N word and used it to, we, black Americans, took the N word that was meant to devalue us and dehumanize us and to put us down. We took that word and made it into a positive. And let me explain why. Before people jump on my case, let me explain why we took that word and made it into something positive. Even though it has negative indentations to it. And it is a negative word when used negatively. But we can use it to our advantage as well. And let me explain myself. That N word, it's definitely a doozy. But we took that word and we flipped it to a term of endearment. So let me explain to you what that did. What that did is it took the power away from the oppressors that were using it to dehumanize us. That's what it did. So when we took that word and we started using it as a term of endearment towards each other, it took the power away from the oppressors that was originally using it. So I'm going to big up just that alone. Black Americans have ways of taking lemons and making lemonade. And not to fully support that word or that we should use it or not. We'll get into that a little later. But I'm just making a point that that Black Americans took that word and flipped it to a term of endearment. And that word still stings and it still hurts, especially when it's used by a non-member of the black race. Do you understand what I'm saying? But that word can also be used to our advantage. Let me explain. So, when you have somebody, especially a non-black individual, who is using and abusing that word, especially using it in public and abusing you with the word in public, uh, as a form of trying to hurt you, trying to bring you down with that word. Family, do you know that we can get on that phone and we can get on the internet and we can find out who this person is? We can find out where this person lives. We can find out where this person works. And we will, we can call these people, we can call their jobs, we can make them aware of what their employer has done and has said. And a lot of people lost their jobs, man. So that's one way. That is one way that we can use that N word to our advantage. You see what I'm saying? Because if somebody else try to use it and they offend us, we can weaponize it, and then we can go and make sure that people lose some bread. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, that's one way of looking at it as far as a positive out of it. And as far as it being used as a term of endearment. Right. Bishop Balagoon, I agree with you. It's definitely the least of our problems, but it was just a simple topic that I wanted to go over tonight. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's the least of our problems. To be honest with you, I'm more into like, hey, if you black and you want to use the word, use it. I don't get offended when people use the N word. I don't get it. I'm a rapper myself. I've used the word a few times in my music myself. I don't get offended when I hear the word. Well, let's break that down by different races though. Like, I don't agree with other groups of people using the word. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm more tolerant of people than others. For instance, like Latino, for instance. There's a lot of Latinos, especially like in the Bronx, Puerto Ricans and things of that nature. A lot of them use the N word. They throw that word around. I don't find it as offensive as if I would a Caucasian person. You understand what I'm saying? It's not as offensive, but still, I honestly think that, it should be up to us whether we use or decide not to use it. Because, we the leaders of this shit, man. So as far as trends and what's hot and what's not, black Americans lead in that. We lead in that. And, my brother said, we definitely have bigger issues. I don't know if y'all have heard about this brother. He goes by the name of Daryl George. Okay, so this is something recently that happened. But Daryl George, he's a black man. I believe he's out of Houston, Texas. But he was punished for wearing locks. And this is something that we always have to deal with. Black people always have to deal with hair discrimination and things of that nature. Nobody deals with hair discrimination the way black Americans do. And that's just the truth. So I'm going to go over this this article here. Annewick, Texas. I never heard of Annewick. You know, I live in Texas myself, but excuse me, Annewick is a new one for me. Black high school students month-long punishment by his Texas school district for refusing to change his hairstyle does not violate a new state law that prohibits race-based hair discrimination. A judge ruled on Thursday. On Thursday, this is an old article. This is from 2024, but I'm just going to continue to read. Daryl George, 18, has not been in the regular Houston area high school classes since August of 31st because the district barber Hill says the length of his hair violates the dress code. The district filed a lawsuit against George's long hair, which he wears in tied and twisted locks on the top of his head. Violates his policy because it would fall below his shirt, collars, eyebrows, and earlobes when let down. The district has said other students with locks comply with the length policy. Okay, not to bring up a whole sexist thing. This is not a war of sexes and anything like that. But why does that apply to a man with long hair and not a woman with long hair? Isn't there is there a difference? I'm not even trying to compare a man to a woman as far as that, but if you're going to make a rule like that, then that should be across the board. I mean, that's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. So if you can't wear long hair, then I don't see why a young lady in the high school would be able to wear long hair either. That rule should go across the board. Like I said, that's just my opinion. But I just don't see the point in that. I don't see the point in discriminating against somebody who decides to wear long hair anyway, being a male. Okay. After about 3 hours of testimony in Annewick State District Judge Chap Kane III ruled in favor of the school district, saying its policy is not discriminatory because the Crown Act does not say that exemptions for the long hair can be made for hairstyles that are protected by the laws, including locks. And he said courts must not attempt to rewrite legislation. So, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. We have been discriminated against over our hair for years. And I can tell you a personal story. It was a long time ago. I was maybe, just getting my foothold. I had just got my first apartment. And, so I was trying to, kind of get in there and get into the workforce and, make a way for myself. So I got a job at a particular grocery store. I'm not going to say the name of the grocery store, but let's just say it's one of those healthy grocery stores that once you see it in your neighborhood, you're about to get gentrified. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. They focus on healthy foods, okay? I'm just going to leave it at that. But I worked at this grocery store, and I was greeted by a lot of YT liberals, okay? And they did my interviews, and oh hey man, oh wow, I think you're so cool. Yeah man, we want to hire you, man. We can't wait for you to start work, dude. And I'm talking about this one particular dude that interviewed me. He had long hair, passed down to his back. The dude had long hair. And I'm sure he didn't just get discriminated against. But yeah, the dude had long hair. He was like a guitar player. He talked about playing the guitar during the interview. Like he asked me about music. He asked me if I did music and stuff. So we talked about, we did more than just the interview. We talked about music and the whole nine, right? And he's all caring and loving, and he's a liberal, and so he's pretending at least that, hey, I'm not out to hurt you. I'm not out to get you. I'm a liberal, dude. So, I believe in empowerment for black people. That's kind of what he was giving. So the interview went well. Of course, I got the job, and I started working in that grocery store. Um, you know, and I dealt with racism with these liberals. It was a store full of liberals, hippies, tree huggers, whatever you want to call them. They expressed their forms of racism too, and they did it in a nonchalant, more laid back way. It wasn't Jim Crow; it was Chad Crow, and Chad Crow is basically liberal racism 2.0. Chad Crow is Jim Crow's super chill cousin, dude. That's what Chad Crow is. So I dealt with Chad Crow racism in this grocery store. And it's not like, somebody just straight up walked up to me and just say, hey, N-word, go over there and pick up, no, it wasn't brutal, blunt racism like that. But the racism was subtle, like they would ask me to do little janky things like, more than once, they had me crawl into the trash chute and like unlodge some trash out of the trash chute that was stuck, push it all the way down. They had me climb in the trash chute to unlodge trash, and they did that more than once. And it's like, bro, I'm a cashier. Why the hell are y'all got me crawling in the trash chute to push trash through? So just stuff like that. They didn't ask nobody else to do that. They didn't ask none of their liberal YT buddies to do that. They came straight to me and asked me to do it. And I did it. I'm young and I'm ambitious. And, I go in for whatever job I'm working at. I try to do what I'm told to do because that's what a job is. I had a brand new baby at the time. I got a brand new apartment. I'm not trying to, so I'm working and I'm doing what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? So I did it. Of course, when I look back at it today, hell no, I wouldn't do that. But I did. And by the way, for the people who had me doing that, not cool. This is what you get. This is what you get for making this black man crawl into the trash chute. But just little slight racism like that. It wasn't direct, but things like that. They would ask me to do things like that. But let me get back to the story. So one day, one of the managers there, and it's always going to happen. She, I guess, quote unquote, turned on me, even though I can't use that word because I don't believe that they were really with me in the first place. But she didn't take long to show her true self. So she started coming after me, and she went on a campaign against me. And it started with her saying, well, he spends too much time in the restroom. He spends 45 minutes to an hour in the restroom, which was a damn lie. It was a flat out lie, but it didn't matter because all of the people there were YT liberals. So they're going to go ahead and just believe whatever she say anyway. I never spent no 30 minutes, no 45 minutes in no restroom. It was a complete flat out lie. But that's the lie that she told, and that's how she started the campaign against me. And then she started saying other things. Well, I'm a slacker, and I don't work as hard. So I'm a slacker, the guy who they would ask to crawl in the goddamn trash chute. Now I'm a slacker. Now I'm not pulling my weight. You see what I'm saying? So this is how these liberals work. These racist liberals work. So that super cool guitar playing dude with the long hair, oh, he turned against my black ass so fast. As soon as that woman said one negative thing about me, it was up. All that super cool, chill stuff, it was gone. Out the window, out the door. And that's how liberal racism works. They get you in there, they make you think that they're cool, but as soon as one of them decide to turn against you, they all going to turn against you, they're going to be on code, and they're going to turn against you. And that's what happened. So once she did that, once she started going around telling lies, she also said that I spent too much time in the meat department, talking to an employee that worked in the meat department. Mind you, this employee was the only other black person that worked in the store. Okay, so she accused me of spending too much time over there in the meat department talking to the only other black guy in the grocery store, which was also a lie. That was also a lie. You know, I didn't go over there and spending a whole lot of time talking to this guy and not doing my work. I see him, I say, "What's up?" You know, "Hey, how you doing?" Blah blah blah. But it was never any point in time where I would go over there and spend a long amount of time talking to this man. So it was another lie that she told. So, you know, long story short, y'all can tell where this story is going. Of course, I got fired from my job. And this lady went on a harsh campaign against me virtually for no reason. And these were supposed to be liberals. So, you know, that's just my own, I got a lot of other stories too, as far as discriminating against me over my hair. I'll tell you one more story and then I'm gonna get back on topic. But so there was another job that I used to apply for, and it was a job as a waiter, okay, at a particular restaurant. I don't even remember the name of the restaurant. But the manager, he just flat out told me, "I can't hire you, man, because your hair, you're gonna have to cut your hair." I had locks, and I had them tied in a ponytail, and they weren't even really that long. They were just starting to reach the nape of my neck, or just starting to reach my back. Like they weren't even that long as of yet. Um, but he was like, "Yeah, I can't hire you because your hair. Can't hire you because of your hair." Meanwhile, you got these white tee folks that's working in there. They got long hair, ponytails. I almost got into a fight with this one particular guy. Once I cut my hair, I didn't cut my hair for this job, but I ended up cutting my hair anyway because I was going to do a regrowth. But while I was doing my regrowth, I went in and I got this job, after I cut my hair. And like I said before, I'm gonna say this again. I did not cut my hair for this job. Let's just put that on the record. I cut it because I was going to do a regrowth. So during that time, I went and I got this job that turned me down at first because of my locks. So I started working in there, and there was this one guy, and he had a long ponytail. It was down to his back. Like, where the hell is the discrimination for him? He had long hair too, and then he wore in a ponytail. What's the difference? My hair was in a ponytail as well. But anyways, I almost get into a fight with this ponytail guy because he's just another waiter like me, but he's sitting here yelling and bossing me around and making orders and shit. And I had to be like, "Hey, yo, hold on, man," because he's raising his voice and he's being very disrespectful, And I was like, "Hey, hold on, man. Watch, excuse my language, but this is exactly what I said. I said, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" I said, "Don't you know that I will whoop your ass right here in this kitchen?" So he backed up immediately, and he apologized to the hiring manager. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you." He didn't bother me no more after that. He didn't talk to me crazy no more after that. And surprisingly, I did not, I did not lose my job for threatening this dude after that. But he knew to leave me the hell alone, But that's just another story. I ended up leaving that job too later. I didn't get fired for that incident, but I did end up leaving that job. But the point that I'm making is, I didn't even get that job at first because I had locks, but I had them tied up, and then I still didn't get that job. But you got this a-hole in here yelling at me and bossing me around, and acting like he run the place, and and being disrespectful with his tone, and I had to put him in his place. But this dude is running around with a damn ponytail all the way down to his back. So hey, that's the discrimination right there that I'm talking about. But yeah, so this discrimination lawsuit with Daryl George, I believe is still ongoing. Um, but you know, that's the kind of stuff that we have to deal with, man. And you know, it's damn sure is a shame, you know. And that Crown Act uh, does not really protect us from these kind of laws, especially locally. You know, so let's see, where am I at now? Yeah, so there's always some type of discrimination against black people because of their hair. You know, especially if you're wearing big hair. You know, did y'all know that black hair and black hairstyles was illegal in the state of Louisiana? Yeah, y'all probably didn't know that. Let me read you this. In 1786, the Spanish governor Esteban Rodriguez Miro of Louisiana enacted the Tignon Law, requiring free and enslaved women of color to cover their hair with a headscarf, or a tignon is what they called it back then, to suppress their perceived beauty and status. But the women creatively transformed the tignon into a symbol of resistance and fashion. So, like, you know, that's something that we always do. Black Americans, we always take lemons and make lemonade out of it. We always take an oppressive situation and we make the best out of it. So, you know, no different, nothing different here. But yeah, you know, Louisiana in 1786, it was under Spanish rule. And yeah, they came up with discrimination laws for black hair. So this is nothing new. This is something that we've always dealt with. You know, discrimination over our hair is something that we always dealt with. Um, so in 1786, Louisiana, then Spanish colony, was under the rule of Governor Esteban Rodriguez Miro. He issued a law known as the Teagan Law that mandated all women of African descent, whether enslaved or free, to cover their hair with a headscarf or tegon. So the reasons behind the law was intended to curb the perceived excessive attention to dress of free women of color who were seen as a threat to the social order and white women's status. Some historians believe the law was also meant to tie free black women to the enslaved class visually. You know, so in other words, you know, enslaved women would wear a headscarf or something, and somebody who worked in the house, worked in the kitchen, they would try to apply these same laws to the free women and then make them cover up too, to kind of, I guess, to kind of put them in their place. But the women of that time responded to this, though. So instead of simply complying, women of color creatively transformed the Tegon into a symbol of resistance and self-expression. They adorned their Tegons with decorative fabric, beads, jewels, ribbons, turning them into elaborate and fashionable head coverings. So yeah, you know, that's something that we do. We'll take the worst situation and make the best out of it. And that's what these sisters did, you know. They took, you know, that's just how we roll, man. That's just how black Americans roll. Highly into our fashion. We'll take something and make it fashionable. You know what I'm saying? So that is, you know, that's a part of our history, and that's something that we did. So let me continue. The Tegon laws, while intended to suppress, ultimately had the opposite effect, becoming a symbol of defiance and a distinctive fashion statement that continued to be recognized today. The Tegon became a mark of distinction and a way for women of color to express their identity and beauty. So as you see, like, you know, our sisters today are still wearing head wraps and bonnets and things like that. You know, our women took those things and made them fashionable. And particularly in 1786 in the state of Louisiana, because their hair was outlawed. Their hair was outlawed. They had to make the best of that situation. So I definitely applaud women for that. I definitely applaud our women for that. So this back to this N word thing. It's definitely a doozy. And but do I think that we need to bury the N word? I'm gonna say no, we don't. But like much like everything else, we should gatekeep it, and we should still use it to our advantage if we can. If somebody's abusing us with it, we need to find out who the hell they are and where they work and where they live, and get them folks in their life, get them fired. You know, that's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do. So no, I don't think that we should bury the N word. It should be gatekeep, and other people who decide to use the word and they're non-black, they should be checked over that. They should be checked. Now, me personally, I'm not the type that's going to haul off and put my hands on somebody that's using the word around me. But I will cringe. I even cringe when a Latino uses the word. But it's more acceptable for them, especially a darker skinned Latino, is more acceptable for them. But it's very cringy if you didn't really grow up in the culture and you just trying to be hip and using it. Yeah, that's not cool. But that's this is not really a subject that I want to spend too much time on because, like my brother said, we have a lot more important things to discuss and talk about. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Let me know in the comments section, things like that. What do y'all think about what we're talking about here? Just let me know. I see my homie Eric Randall in the building. What's going on, brother? What we got going on? Yeah. Well, I am going to go ahead and I pretty much got my point across today and made my point. And so we're gonna keep on holding. We're gonna hold on to the word. We're gonna gatekeep this word. And we're not gonna use it. And I can go deep into the word and the usage of the word and the history of the word, and in particular the Naga. The Naga, is a serpent goddess that was meant to protect us. So, and that was used in ancient Kemet. So, there's a lot of different, there's a lot of words that derive from that particular N word that we use today. You got Naga, you got Negas, you got, all types of different words that derive from, that where that word derived from. So there's a lot of power in that N word. You know, but of course, if it's used derogatorily against us, we need to stand up and fight against something like that. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, family. It's definitely been real. Again, I am your host, Shane the Artist, and this has been another episode of the Rebellious Rhymer Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. Smash that like button. Click that subscribe button and the like button. Also, to click the notification bell as well. You can follow me on Instagram at Shane the Artist on Instagram. You can also follow me on TikTok as Shane the Artist on TikTok. And please like and subscribe my Rebellious Rhymer YouTube page. And also comment. But don't say nothing crazy because I'm going to get you up out of there real quick. I don't have a tolerance for trolls. I might entertain you for a minute or two. I don't know. That's just if you entertain me. But other than that, I'm not about to be dealing with no trolls. So watch what you say when you come on my platform, okay? All right, family, it's been real. I'm up out of here. And remember, the revolution starts with you. I'm out.